So yeah, I'm talking about this Kendrick and Drake rap battle. And yes, I believe Kendrick won. Listen, Linda, I'm not arguing with y'all. I said what I said. So before I get into why I believe Kendrick won, I am going to get into a teachable moment. So first, I do have to acknowledge that no, I don't believe that Drake set anything up. It's too many holes in his story, and it's too many holes in his strategy that suggests that he did not set Kendrick up. It wasn't a strategy. Because in his response, he said, oh, he called the people clown who Kendrick was getting his information from. Then he turned around and said, oh, we set you up. So what you saying? Your homeboys clowns? The people that you set him up with was clowns? It doesn't make sense. And on top of that, it was already said that Kendrick had like 10 disses or so that were already waiting for Drake. So to me, that means that he already had this stuff prior to the rap beef. Maybe he had it like probably after First Person Shooter came out, and that came out some months ago. So no, I don't believe that Drake just set this whole thing up. I think that was a way for him to try to keep some of his pride and gracefully bow out. Now here's the teachable moment though. Drake needs to take a moment and figure out who in his circle is telling his business. It is very apparent that you have people in your circle telling your business. Hence why Kendrick could be so well prepared like he was. And this is a teachable moment for everybody. One thing I realize about people is people like to be in the mix. People like to have a good time. People like people surrounding them. It's not too many people who are okay being alone and by themselves. There's a lot of people that are frightened and afraid of being alone because they're left with their thoughts. They're left with thinking about maybe traumas and triggers and things that happen in their life, maybe, insecurities. It's a lot that go in your head if you don't know how to not let your mind run you, but you run your mind. So what I would suggest for Drake to concern himself with, because I wouldn't really be concerned with the rap battle, honestly, if I was Drake. Like, pride, ego aside, like, somebody's in my circle is telling my business, and that's not cool. Especially to say that it happened already before when he was beefing with Pusha T. So it's very clear that he has a mole in his camp. And the way that you weed out people who don't serve you is you have to know how to step back and isolate yourself. So I would suggest at this moment that he go isolate himself. Like, take the pride and ego away, because you don't want to admit that, Kendrick one-upped you and you got a mole in your presence who's telling your business. You don't want to admit that. Like, take that out of it and seriously take a moment and look at your life. Step back, isolate yourself, and look at the people in your circle and who serves you and who don't serve you. The best way to find a mole in your circle, and when I say mole in your circle, I'm not just talking about somebody, let's put this in the everyday average person life. I'm not just talking about somebody who's just leaking your business. I'm talking about somebody who telling your business. I'm talking about somebody who the only purpose they around is to know your business, for the purpose to tell your business, or for the purpose to disrupt or disrupt whatever it is, what goals you're doing, to interfere with your business. And the best way to get rid of those people, the best way to find out who serve you, is to isolate yourself. Tell your people, you know what, I need a break. I need to step back. I really need to focus. I really need to get my stuff together. Tell your people that in your circle, and you're going to find out who's for you and who's not. The ones who are for you, when you tell them that you just need to step back and you need a moment to yourself, a moment to get your bearings together, to center yourself, get your mind straight, those people are going to still be there. They're going to still be supportive. They're going to still pop in and check on you, even if it's just shooting you a text to say, hey, just want to make sure you good. You don't got to respond back. Even if it's just to give you a call and leave a voicemail to say, hey, I just wanted to make sure everything was good. Even if it's rolling and just popping up at your house and just making sure you well. Like, they're going to respect your space because they're going to understand, because they want the best for you. But they also are going to still be there. They still are going to make their presence be known, like, I'm here if you need me. Now, the ones who not for you, tell them you want to take a step back. Tell them you need a moment to yourself. They're going to take that offensively. They're going to take it like when you say you need a break or a step back, they're going to take it like you're attacking them and you're doing something to them. You probably ain't going to hear from them no more. When you take that step back, when you take a break, when you call yourself, like, you know, trying to center yourself, they ain't gonna shoot you a text, they ain't gonna call you, they ain't gonna ask what's going on, they ain't gonna do none of that. If you do hear from them, it's because they done got wind of some of your business. If they find out somebody passed in your family, they might pop their head up because they want to know what's going on. If they find out somebody went to jail, if they find out some little information on the streets about you, they might pop in, but it's only for the purpose of trying to know your business. It's not for the purpose of being concerned and caring. You're not going to hear from them people at all. Okay? And they're going to feel a way towards you because you're taking a moment. And in that moment, that's when you should be able to see and realize, like, oh, okay, you're not here for me. You're here to have access to me. And that's going to be the difference between those two people. One person is there for you. One person is there to have access to you. And when I say access, that means access to whatever you have, whether it's access to your energy, your money, your time, your resources, the people you may know, your connections, whatever the case may be, they are not there for you. And as soon as Drake takes a moment and steps away and isolates himself and really like take a moment to look within and to do whatever work he need to do with himself and tell these people, like, I'm taking a step back from everybody, the people who not for him, they're going to show themselves. Isolation to me is the perfect way of seeing who is for you. If you want to see who for you, if you want to see who's the mole in your circle, if you want to see who backstabbing you and talking behind your back and spreading rumors about you and all that kind of stuff, stop talking to them. Tell them you need a moment. Tell them you trying to figure stuff out. You trying to get yourself together. As soon as you say that, all hell gonna break loose. And you will see immediately just how fast they switch up. Just how fast they turn. Just how fast they do that 180. And the crazy thing is, it's going to be the people you less expect it from. That person that you think is thick, that's your bestie, that's your twin. Those gonna be the ones that you least expect it from. That's gonna show up and show you that they're not here for you. They're here to have access to you only. So the lesson I feel you could learn from the situation with Drake is, what I feel like he should get out of this is bump sales, bump all of that. Like, go find who's for you and who's not for you. Because somebody out there is telling your business, whether you want to believe it or you don't. And a lot of times, it is hard for us to believe that our own people close to us could be doing us wrong. But those be the ones. Those be the ones. That's why they say keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Because your enemies be real close. Peace and blessings. So check it. I wanna correct something. When I said Kendrick wasn't calling him no snitch, I was referring to the line, the Gunna Wanna line, right? But I think why he said Kendrick was calling him a snitch, because on the Not Like Us song, Kendrick made a reference that said freaky ass, you know, 6'9" God, because you know Drake calls himself 6 God, but he called him a 69 God, like 6'9". But I don't think he was saying 6'9" as a way of referencing, because 6'9" snitch. 6'9" was fake, basically. 6ix9ine came out, portrayed himself like he was this gangster, when in reality it was the people around him who was the gangster, and they put him on Front Street to be the face and be this image and be this gangster guy that he wasn't. So he still misinterpreted, because I guess that went over his head. And that's another thing. If you can't interpret, if you can't dissect what need to be dissected in rap beef, it's not gonna look good for you, because you're going to your response is not gonna land, because the context of what was being said to you went over your head. And I feel like in a lot of ways, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of context I feel like went over Drake's head when it came to Kendrick, because like, if you just got him calling you 69 God like you a snitch, like, no, 6ix9ine is known to not be real, to be a fraud. And it's funny because he tried to play Kendrick as like, oh, they're trying to make it seem like your responses, your lyrics so deep, they so complex. I mean, you ain't getting it. Like, this stuff is going over your head the way you responding. But maybe it's his writers. Like, he might need some better writers. I don't know who he got up in there writing, but baby, they don't read for comprehension, okay? They don't listen for comprehension and context. I guess they just listening to respond, and they dropping the ball. They dropping the ball, because that's not what that 6ix9ine reference was about. It was not about being a snitch. It was about being a phony, a fake. So instead of you being the 6 guy, you the 69, you the 6'9" God. Like 6'9", you a fake God. And I ain't even a hip hop girl like that. I'm just a Kendrick fan.